Chicken liver pate is a recipe that I do every Christmas because it is really delicious, really easy to make if you've got a food processor or a blender, and it's relatively inexpensive. The ingredients I'm using is a little bit of olive oil to stop the butter from burning, some butter, chicken livers, which come generally in a pack of 400 grams, a shallot. This is a really large banana shallot, so I'll probably only use half of that. A garlic clove, and I've got a bit of thyme and sage, but you can use whatever you've got in your garden. If you haven't got anything, then you don't need to use anything. And really you should have an orange. I haven't got any oranges, so I'm going to use these 2 clementines. Some sherry, but you could use port or brandy, and some seasoning. So firstly I'm going to peel the shallot and finely chop it. Okay. So I'm going to finely chop this shallot. If you haven't got a shallot, you can use a little bit of onion. If you don't like garlic, just omit it. Basically, this recipe can be adjusted to your tastes. I'm going to peel and finely chop the garlic clove. You could crush it if you've got a garlic crusher. Okay, I'm putting a non-stick frying pan on a relatively high heat. I'm adding some of the oil and some butter for flavour. I'm adding about 25 grams of butter. Let that cook down. And I'm going to add the chicken livers, and they don't need very long in here. You just want them cooked through but still very slightly pink on the inside so that they don't go grainy and they stay soft and succulent. I'm just going to turn them over, cook on the other side. So this is spitting quite ferociously. When you think they might be done, you take them out, just cut through it to see if it's done inside. Nearly, not long. So when the chicken livers are done, put them straight into your food processor. And they will continue to cook a little bit while you're waiting to process it. I'm now going to move this to a medium heat and add the shallots, the garlic and the thyme. Just pick the leaves off the thyme stalks. So the shallots and the garlic don't need long, you don't want them to burn, you just want them to cook down a little bit so they're soft. And then when you're ready, you add 2 or 3 tablespoons of sherry, port, brandy, whatever you're going to use. So you're going to cook off the sherry so that the alcohol boils off, but the flavour is still there. Once that's reduced down by about half, we're going to tip it into the food processor with the chicken livers. So I'm now going to add the onion mixture. Now it is quite hot at the moment, so you need to be really careful when you whiz it up. I'm also going to add the grated zest of my clementines. And I'm going to squeeze the juice from these 2 clementines in there as well. Make sure you don't get any pips. So now I'm going to put the lid on and give it a good whiz. So I like my chicken pate really fine, so I'm going to leave it for a good couple of minutes to whiz up. So to that mix, once it's nice and fine, I'm going to add a little bit of softened butter. And it's fine that it's not melted because it will melt in the hot liver mix. So I'm adding another sort of 50 grams there. This is not a low fat dish. Let's put that back on. So now I'm going to add another 50 grams of butter to melt down, which will seal the top of the pate to stop it from oxidising and going brown. So you literally just melt that down slowly, and then you pour the top of it, which is the fluid bit, the solids settle to the bottom, you don't want those bits. You just literally take the top fluid parts of the butter to pour on top of the pate. So that's now all melted, and I'm going to leave that to settle for a minute while I do the cooking. So add some seasoning to your liver pate, salt and pepper. So dishes to serve it in. If you want to serve it as a starter and you want to slice it and put it on a plate, then I would use a loaf tin or a long thin tin. Make sure you grease proof it. Put your liver pate in, then pour the butter on top, and then that'll be fine in the fridge until you need it. I'm going to use a bowl because we're going to be just dipping in and out of it throughout the week. Okay, so pour the liver pate in the bowl. Try not to get it on the sides. So smooth down a nice flat top. Just clean up that spillage from the side. And then we're going to pour in the top of the butter. So you don't want the solids from the bottom of the pan. And I'm going to add a few sage leaves on the top just to flavour the butter and to make it look festive. So I'm going to let this cool down now. Once it's cool, I'm going to close the lid up and put it in the fridge to chill overnight. So the pate has been chilled. You can serve it on its own or with a salad, on toast, crunchy bread. Look at that, it's delicious.